Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast and game 4 in this best of 5 series between mouz, Morrow, and DieStar. Game 4 taking place on Pawn Re. I believe it was a remake of a map called Pawn from the original StarCraft 1 seasons. I could be wrong, you guys can let me know in the comments. Now this particular map really reminds me of Blistering Sands turned on its head sideways and then not having backdoor rocks, and I really like that. This is game 4, obviously. If you guys haven't seen game 4 of the 79 finals, excuse me, Go4SC2, and now there's the good luck, have fun. DieStar spawning at the 10 o'clock location, mouz Morrow spawning at the 4 o'clock location. Only 2 spawning locations, but the walking distance between these 2 bases is fairly long with a lot of hills. So that is something that I like. There is a very easy to establish third base that has 7 mineral patches, not the standard 8, but it is also very, very wide open to attack. So that's one of the things you have to be careful about. There is also a nice high yield mineral location that is not blocked by destructible rocks. There is one Xel'Naga watchtower on the north side that gives gives a limited range, but is also fairly well protected because there are vents blocking the way. So any range units, any siege tanks, perhaps placing down a missile turret here and here would become very, very powerful as well. SCV just patrolling back and forth right there, wanting to know if it's going to block a hatchery. It doesn't look like he will. There is now 2 drones making their way down, so it looks like the SCV is going to try to block that hatchery, but Morrow already doesn't have anywhere near the amount of minerals just quite yet, and making DieStar believe that he's doing some actual good by trying to have this SCV sacrifice his life or his hit points in order to try to delay this hatchery over here. And it looks as though, yeah, the delaying of the hatchery will be just in time, as Morrow just gets 300 minerals right there, as the spawning pool is already in. So DieStar pretty much has to go, wait, what was I doing all that time if there's already a spawning pool here, just taking damage so that another hatchery could be placed down. And now DieStar running all the way home. You can see an Overlord now in the air here. One Marines getting some damage onto that drone. The drone now trying to run away, down to 12 hit points already. Maybe able to get in another spit or another claw into that one particular SCV, but the SCV able to run away. There are a lot of vents on this map. Now that I look at it, there are vents here as well, so it is very, very possible to get blindsided by your opponent if you don't want to go up onto this higher ground back onto the low ground. And also on top of that, the Xel'Naga watchtowers have a very, very large radius. You can see the sheer amount of sight that it gives. It gives sight onto 2 expansions, this expansion over here, and then this expansion on the bottom left hand, the south gold mineral patches. And now we see Marines making the trek out, 3 Marines with 1 SCV. A bunker may try to be placed down in just a moment, but Morrow already has a position in order for him to try to establish. Morrow already has an Overlord to make sure that he can scout this out. He doesn't see the shadow of the Overlord. The shadow is going to appear, disappear. Anyways, SCV now apparently trying to set up a bunker here. There is 1 Queen. The Marines doing that little bit of that stutter step, getting some damage. And now the question is this a perfect range of 6? If that is a perfect range of 6, oh no, Zerglings now coming in as well. 4 Marines trying to fight back against those Zerglings. SCV joining in on that fight. That SCV will get taken down. Down it goes, and now this bunker perhaps may get shut down. Are we getting another SCV? No. No additional SCVs. That bunker is now down. The Spine Crawler still has 2 armor, and now apparently trying to root itself here in order to act as natural defense, and it looked like it will be successful. No, the Marines now going to circumnavigate around the range of that Spine Crawler, and a second Spine Crawler coming in here. Hellions coming in to reinforce from behind as well, and now trying to reroute itself, and now Hellions getting some damage. Marines trying to get some damage. Will that Hellion actually get some damage onto those Zerglings? 1 drone has been taken down, but I don't think enough drone damage has been done to really warrant the loss of 4 Marines and 1 SCV. Hellion coming in, trying to get more damage once again. It looks like those drones are going to block its path, and now down it goes. So nicely done. Drone micro for the win in order to stop a Hellion. I don't understand why a Hellion can't drive over a drone. Perhaps because it's floating. Okay, and back over here, we now see what 1 barracks is in play. We now see a factory training up and going into mass barracks with the command center. So Empire DieStar sticking to Marine and Hellion, not going into any Banshee sort of play. as Banshee sort of play shouldn't work well against Morrow. Morrow has consistently gone into Mutalisk, and with Mutalisk, 2 to 3 Mutalisk with 1 Overseer can easily defend a base from Banshees, especially if you add in 1 or 2 Spore Crawlers for detection. Creep Tumors now being laid down across the map. Creep Tumor will have a difficult time trying to get onto the other side. No, never mind. There is an Overlord here offering sight onto the other side of these vents over here. And now DieStar doing a good job activating both of these Xel'Naga Watchtowers. One Overlord making the trek down, trying to see if there is an expansion, sees that there is none. And now Morrow knows that he doesn't need to expand just quite yet. 3 Hellions quickly run out to meet and greet a Zergling. The Zergling is a barbecue on the ground. Its ashes will quickly disappear. There it goes. So yeah, a decent game so far, battling back and forth, and both players just sitting inside. We can see that Spire that I was expecting to see earlier in this game. We are also getting reactors and a Viking. So the Viking now going to go Overlord hunting. Very, very important, especially on a map like this where there is a lot of untraversable terrain. And with so much untraversable terrain, the Overlord is able to spot out these locations. One Marine does see that there is that Overlord. Overlord will quickly fly back up onto that high ground here, but a Viking will quickly be able to shoot it down. Another Zergling meet and greeted by 3 Hellions. And now there are Marauders and Marines as well. Army-wise, not too much coming in from DieStar. DieStar seen at 950 compared to a 625. Both sides about even. One Viking now chasing down this Overlord. Overlord will fall with relative ease, especially as it does not have that movement speed upgrade. And now Hellions perhaps trying to move out and deal some damage. Scanner Sweep now reveals both of those Creep Tumors, and now those Zerglings just laying in wait. But there is Zerglings over here, so now the Zerglings now trying to capture some of these Marauders and Marines off guard, getting caught in transition and losing 2 units there. So units are being lost. You can now see the Viking making the long trek over into this direction over here, perhaps hunting for more Overlords. We'll see an Overlord here, shoot it down, and there are a couple Overlords here as well. So we may get a lot of Viking kills. No, that Viking deciding to go into a different path. One Marine trying to hold off against a swarm. Marine gets taken down right before its brothers arrive, and now there are a whole bunch of Zerglings outside the front door. Only 4 Marines though. That is going to be a problem. The Zergling's going to simply run into the ramp, catching DieStar with lowered supply depots, and that is an issue there. Marines not even turning around to fight. Another supply depot not even being raised. The Marines now trying to return home, trying to finish off the rest of those Zerglings, and now just catching DieStar in a very, very nice situation for Morrow. DieStar just not expecting how fast those Zerglings were able to pour through. The number of walkways and pathways that Morrow had to enter into DieStar's base is really what gave him the victory, or what will give him the victory, I believe. Now down to 26 Harvesters. Marines now just trying to clean up the rest of those Zerglings inside the base, and now there are Mutalisks nearby, and those Mutalisks are going to simply go after these SCVs over here now. So as soon as he deals with those Zerglings, the Mutalisks now show up in order to pick off many of these SCVs. SCVs are getting picked apart. There are only currently 4 Marines here. Those Marines are going to get cleaned up very, very easily. Most of those SCVs are going to get taken down. Marines now trying to rejoin the rest of the main group here. And the Mutalisks will be able to run away just to allow the Zerglings to come back in and deal more damage towards those SCVs. SCVs turning around to fight. Will be able to finish some of them off, but we are now down to 10 SCVs coming in from DieStar. DieStar has a lot of work to do in order to get back into this game, especially when he is down Harvesters about 3-1. A third base now being established by Morrow. Morrow not relenting. He is not going to try to invest all into any particular strategy, opting instead to expand at this time. And I like this play by Morrow. Morrow being very cold and calculating, knowing that if he is able to at least fend off this attack. And oh look, DieStar is now moving out with what is essentially an all-in move. No real SCVs doing any mining, just mules. 4 mules able to return back about 850 minerals. So essentially one base play coming in from DieStar. Siege tanks now sieging up, but I believe that one siege tank will get taken down before it was even able to get off a blast onto any of these spine crawlers here. 2 additional hatcheries now being built. Zerglings now coming in as well. Mutalisks coming in. Queens joining in on the fray. And DieStar says GG. So this best of 5 series will ultimately come down to a Game 5 between Morrow and DieStar. Game 5 taking place on Metalopolis. This game, Game 4, DieStar just simply not aware of the number of Zerglings around the map. And as soon as those Zerglings were able to pour inside this base, in the DieStar's base, it was the beginning of the end. Those Zerglings running around so freely on the inside of this map, getting some damage, preventing SCVs from mining, forcing those Marines to chase them. As the Marines were chasing them, it opened up a huge gap in DieStar's defenses at his natural expansions for Mutalisk to come back in. Once you start putting pressure on 2 points and you have a decent sized army that is very mobile, the Terran players just have a very difficult time to try to get their Marines over there. Marines needing to use stim packs, which cost life anyways, in order to get within combat range. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this 1v1 replay between mouz Morrow and Empire DieStar here on Pawnri.